Hey everybody, welcome back. I know you had to miss me because it's been a while since I did a video. But I have the perfect Sunday dinner for everybody. You're going to love this one. We're going to make grilled T-bone steak, fancy. We're going to make a double stuffed baked potato. You're going to want to know the recipe for this. We're also going to make some grilled roasted vegetables with zucchini and butternut squash. It's going to be awesome. So the first thing I want you guys to do is see how we're going to prepare our potatoes so that we can start that process, because this is a 2 cooking process, so it takes a little while. And the first thing we want to do is wash our potatoes. So we have some roasted potatoes here, and if you buy a bag, you want to look for the biggest ones in the bag, right? So you're going to pick your big potatoes out of the bag. And I have a large family, so I'm going to probably make I'm going to do probably 6 to 7 large potatoes. The reason why you want to pick out the largest potatoes is because it's a whole, well, let's see, this is 3, 6, so we're going to do 8 potatoes. And the reason why you want to pick out your largest potato is because you're going to, like I said, you're cooking them twice. And the more potatoes, the mixture you're going to get. I'm going to show you, you're going to love this. So the first thing we're going to do is wash our potatoes. And you want to wash it good because it's going to be so good that you can literally eat the skin. So we're just going to wash the potatoes really, really good. And once you wash your potatoes really, really good, again, you're just making sure there's no dirt, because you know potatoes grows in the dirt. So you want to make sure that you're cleaning off any dirt that could possibly be on your potatoes. Okay? Now, remind you guys, you know what it is. It's Sunday. That means it's Sunday dinner and it's football. So we're getting everything ready for you guys to check it out. So we washed our potatoes, and the next step that we're going to do while you're looking at our potatoes, I'm going to get some napkins so that I can dry them off. Okay, I have a baking dish here, and we're just going to pat dry our potatoes and place them on the baking dish. Again, this is so most of the excessive water, you're just drying it off a little bit. So we're just pat drying our potatoes. And again, the first step for these potatoes is roasting, okay? So now that we have washed our potatoes, we're going to get some extra virgin olive oil. And we're going to put it on our potatoes, right? That's probably like 3 tablespoons. We're going to sprinkle a little salt, because again, these potatoes, you're going to be able to eat them. So we're sprinkling a little bit of salt, and we're going to sprinkle just a little bit of pepper. Now you want to toss this with the olive oil mixture that you placed on it, so everybody has some seasoning. Once you toss and make sure everything has it, just want to go ahead and quickly wash your hands because it has oil and salt and pepper. So now that we have our potatoes, our next step is to put this in a 375 degree oven, and you're going to leave this until it gets soft. Soft to when you squeeze on the potato, you can feel it mush. That's the perfect consistency that you want your potatoes to be. So we're going to place these in the oven, and we'll be right back. Okay, so like I told y'all, for dinner, the meat choice is T-bone steak. I'm going to teach you a little something in case you didn't know. So we have the T-bone steak here. Now, T-bone is 2 expensive cuts. The biggest side is your New York strip. And then the side over here, the smaller part, is filet mignon, whatever. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but that's what it is. And this is basically a very good cut of meat to grill. So we have our T-bone steaks. And we have 5 of them, okay? And so now with the T-bone steak, we're going to individually season them so we can make sure everything gets seasoned. Okay, so now we're going to season our steaks. And we have our T-bone here. We're going to sprinkle on some black pepper. We got some cayenne. We have some garlic powder, some onion powder, some seasoning salt, and we're just going to rub this into the meat. And we have done it on the other side as well, okay? It doesn't look, it may look to you like it's a lot of seasoning on here, but don't worry, because you're not cooking. It's not like you're slicing the meat, and if you can see, it's pretty thick. And so this is the only way for your meat to get the flavor, and it builds a crust when you grill it. And so this is, you really want it to look like this. So don't worry if it looks like it's too seasoned. This is actually what you want. So now we're just going to basically repeat the steps now with another piece of meat. We're going to hit it with our cayenne, our garlic, our onion powder, our black pepper, our paprika, that's going to give it a really dark red, and your Larry seasoning salt. And then again, like I said, we're going to flip the other side and do the same thing, because the seasoning that you're putting on your steak is what's going to give it a crust, okay? And again, you're using one hand to season and the other hand to rub and flip. Alrighty, so now we're just going to season our other steaks, and we will be right back so you can kind of see the process. So we'll be right back. So if you can see, these are our steaks that we have seasoned, and they look wonderful even though it's not cooked. They're fully seasoned and ready to go. We're just going to leave these steaks so that the season can, you know, penetrate your meat and it'll give it more flavor. So it's you're going to let it marinate with the season on it for a little bit. I have this T-bone steak that I haven't seasoned yet, only because this one is mine's, and I am going to season this one a little bit different. I want to try a new seasoning that I purchased, and I like that salty sweet, and this is Grill Mates Brown Sugar Bourbon. Brown sugar, babe, you get high off of love, you don't know how to behave. So we're going to try the brown sugar. So I wanted to show you how I'm going to season this. I'm obviously going to hit it with this brown sugar base, right? And of course, it has a lot of good flavor in it. It has like onion and garlic and paprika, and it has a lot of good stuff in here. So I'm just going to put a little black pepper, and I'm going to do a little bit of the garlic powder. And that's all I'm going to add. I'm not going to do anything else besides the Grill Mate black pepper and garlic. And so this one, I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Hit it with the brown sugar braid. You get tired of your love, you don't know how to behave. All right, I soon get my record deal, y'all. Y'all can buy my CD. Hit me up on iTunes very soon. Okay, so now we're going to just put a little black pepper. And like I said, I'm just going to do a little bit of the garlic powder. Just a little bit, because I don't want to overpower with my seasoning, because I want to see if this brown sugar braid, I want to see if this has really good flavor by just seasoning the meat with that. And it looks really good. I'm going to leave this one separate, so I'm going to leave this on this plate so I know that this is my, obviously, brown sugar seasoning. And then the rest of them, I'm going to leave them in the bowl until we get ready to grill. Now that you use your all-purpose, which is black pepper, seasoning salt, garlic powder, onion powder, paprika, cayenne pepper. Those are your seasons that we use just for our basic T-bone. Once you leave this in the pot, you're going to, once it's marinating and you get ready for it to grill, those seasonings is going to allow your meat to get a crust on it. That's going to be where all the flavor from the steak is going to come from. And again, like I said, this one here is just the brown sugar Grill Mates that we're going to try the bourbon, see if it gives it a good flavor. So now, while those things are sitting and marinated, because again, we have our potatoes in the oven baking away. I'm going to wash my hands, and then we're going to move on to the vegetables, so those can also grill with our potato, not grill, but roast in the oven. I want them to roast. And again, if you are trying to watch what you're eating, I'm not going to cook any rice. I am going to do the potatoes because it's my brother's birthday. His birthday was on the 17th, and you know, I have a house full of people, so I'm not necessarily going to eat a whole potato, but I'm going to make it for you guys so you can see it. Everybody else is going to eat it. I'm roasting those vegetables so I can have it with my steak. And like I said, it's going to be awesome. So if you are a person who, you know, want to kind of stay away from your rice and your potatoes, there's always another option. You don't have to do the potatoes. We're going to roast some vegetables. So you guys, I'm just going to wash my hands, and then I'm going to show you exactly what I'm going to do with our vegetables. So stay tuned. Your girl is back. Okay, so now we're moving on to our vegetables. We have a zucchini. If you don't like zucchini, substitute it for whatever you may like as far as vegetable. We have a quarter of a butternut squash. And this butternut squash is super convenient because it's in Publix. It's already cut for you, clean. All I had to do was peel the back of this squash. And I have 2 cloves of garlic and some onions. We're not going to use all of this onion. So we're just going to get started with the chopping. We're going to basically put them in chunks. Be careful when you're cutting this because it is not cooked. So it is firm. And you want to be able to hold it where, or you want to cut it and don't cut yourself. So be very careful because again, it is very firm when you're doing this process. We're just cutting our okay, and we're going to go ahead and cut this again. And we're making quarters. Now, also, what I want to tell you is we have a baking dish and we lined it with foil. And the purpose is so the cleanup is easy later. And it's just a regular baking dish, and we just put foil in it so that we don't have to do too much heavy cleaning. And the foil is going to also help cook it. So now that we're going to now put them into, you want, I don't know, that's what, 2-inch? And that is basically the size you want. So now we're going to just toss that into our baking dish. And if you don't like if you don't like butter squash and you like pumpkin, you can do it with pumpkin. Especially because it's the holiday season, you can find pumpkin almost everywhere. So if you want to do pumpkin, you can. It will be awesome. If you don't want pumpkin in it and you want maybe, I don't know what's another, you know, whatever vegetable you like, you substitute it. But I don't really mind the squash. Actually, it's really good when you get a nice roast on it. It's really, really good. And we have our zucchini. We're just going to cut our top off. And we're going to cut the bottom of it. And we're going to basically cut that in half. And we're just going to cut them. Now, again, not everybody in my family likes this, so that's why I'm only doing 1. But if you love zucchini, then do 2. If you like squash, use squash. It's really up to you. So you have your zucchini in there. We're going to take our 2 cloves of garlic and again smash it. And the smashing helps you with your frustration, okay? If you having some issues at home, you got a boy for your boyfriend, or you know, your husband, your baby daddy, somebody giving you troubles, get you some garlic and whack that thing, get some, you know, aggression out. So now we're just going to go ahead and chop up our garlic, and you want it kind of fine because the garlic is just going to help roast. It's just going to help with the roasting and give it flavor. Because remember, this is vegetables and there's not too much flavor. You have to season it. You have to make it have good flavor, okay? And with that, we're going to do our onion. And we're going to do, that's a half, but we're only going to do like a quarter. So we're going to do a slice. Then we're going to go the other way and we're going to chunk that. And so now we're going to have onions throughout our vegetable medley mix. Now we're going to add some fresh thyme. You know I love thyme. This is my go-to. And we're going to take them off the stems. So you, like I said, you just hold it and pull it back and they come easily off the stems. So the stems are very, you know, it's not really hard, so you can just pop those off, but the hard part of the stems, just go ahead and pull them off. And I'm doing about 5 sprigs of thyme and one more. One for one. And you kind of want to see your thyme throughout your vegetable mix. Now that you have everything cut up in your vegetable medley, okay, so we have our zucchini and we have our squash, we have our onions, we have the garlic, everything's in here nice. Everything is working perfectly together, right? Now we can season, because remember, the vegetable is very bland. If you don't put any love in it, if you don't season it, it's gonna, you know, most kids don't like vegetable. That's because it's not seasoned properly. And you have to add flavor for it to be awesome. So of course, you guys know I don't like to actually cook with salt, like in my meats and stuff like that. But when it comes to rice, because it's so bland, vegetables, and let's see, rice, vegetables, and some sweet, you have to add salt to bring out the flavor. And this is one situation where I have to add salt, because if I don't, it's not going to be good. So now we're going to just salt our vegetables, and you're just sprinkling the salt all around it, because we're not doing too much of a deep all-purpose seasoning, so you really need to rely on your salt and pepper for it to bring out its flavor. And because we're roasting this in the oven, the vegetable is going to bring out its natural flavor, and it's going to help. And from there, we're just going to add some olive oil. We're going to add some virgin olive oil. Now, if you wanted to add butter, you can. But again, if you're trying to watch some of the oil intake and you want to put good fats in, substitute it for olive oil. You can use avocado oil. You can use coconut oil. So it's up to you, but kind of stay away from vegetable oil and canola oil. Butter, you can use it because butter gives it more flavor, but it has more fat, so just know that. So we're going to take our olive oil and we're just going to sprinkle, and we're going to toss it almost like we did our potatoes. And again, you want the extra virgin olive oil is going to help the roasting process. And we're going to toss it, and we're just tossing, is making sure that everybody has flavor with your olive oil. You're going to be able to see, if you can see your black pepper and you feel your salt, you know this is seasoned perfect, right? So now that everybody is seasoned and everybody is nice and sexy, we're going to put our bad girl in the oven. Now let me tell you something about vegetables. A lot of people say they don't like vegetables, but again, if you season it and you cook your food with love, you'll be surprised how much people end up loving it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wash my hands and I'm going to place this in the oven with our potatoes side by side, so this can start our roasting process. And once I place this in the oven, I'm going to also check on my potatoes. So you know what? We're going to do that now. I'm just going to use a napkin and wipe my hand because it's just oil and salt and pepper. Okay? And we're going to go ahead and put our vegetable medley in there. And this is our potatoes. And again, it's hot, so be careful. But I'm squeezing on it, and it is not as soft as I need it to be as of yet. So we know that still needs some more cooking. Our meat is over here, and they're definitely still, you know, marinated and getting everything that it needs to get in. You know, go ahead and penetrate it in our meat. And we're going to just do a quick cleanup, and then we'll be right back. Okay guys, we're back. And we have a little bit of shrimp here. This is probably anywhere from 10 to 15 shrimps. Now, this is one of my secret recipes that I am going to show you that's in our double cook baked potato. Now, I'm going to clean it and season it and put it to the side until we're ready for that step. But I just want to show you guys exactly how I do my shrimp. So I have some shrimp with this, it's peeled and it's deveined, but it still has your skin on it. So I'm just going to peel off the skin. Simply, very easy, and just take off our skin of the shrimp. The easiest way I see is you pull back, you pinch it at the tail, and it just slides right off. And so if you do that, you can finish fairly fast. And so now you just basically, you see this? This is just some that didn't, you just go ahead and wipe that off. This is another way for you to basically see if it's clean or if you need to do a quick wash again. So now we're just going to go ahead and peel it back. Like I said, we're taking off all our skins off of our shrimp. And we're removing any extra, dirt that's not clean. So now we're just going to remove it off, taking off our shrimp, all the peels, and just cleaning it off. And once you get, and like I said, this is probably like a good 15 shrimp. It's not that much. It's like 15 shrimps. Once you peel off all of your shrimps and everything is looking good, we're just going to do a quick wash to make sure we remove any extra shells that could be in our shrimp. And so we're going to go ahead and wash this, and then we'll come right back with the seasoning. Okay guys, so we have washed and cleaned our shrimps, and so all I did was I cut them, and I left some so you can see. I just put them into a split, and I just go ahead and cut them straight down the middle, and you want it to be in smaller pieces so that everybody can get a bite of shrimp. Now that you have your shrimp washed, clean, peeled, and cut, we're going to go ahead and add our seasoning, which is your seasoned salt, your cayenne pepper. We're going to do some onion powder, some garlic powder, and we're going to do some black pepper. We're going to do with that, we're just going to add one garlic. We're going to do one piece of garlic that we're just going to place into our shrimp. And slice that up. And we're going to add that into our shrimp mixture. And we're just going to go ahead and toss that. Make sure everybody is seasoned perfect. And when you see your garlic through your shrimp, that's flavor. That's going to help make everything taste good. So this is exactly what you want it to look like. Now that we have this process down, I'm going to wash my hands, and we're going to start with our basic shrimp saute so we can get it ready for our potatoes. So we're going to wash our hands, and we will be back in a flash. Okay guys, so my hands are nice and clean. I washed my hands up, and so now we're going to saute our shrimp. It's super easy. We had already seasoned our shrimp. Like I said, it's not that much shrimp, but you're going to see how this plays into everything. So we seasoned it. We put some garlic in it. So simple. We did our all-purpose seasoning, and we have our pot on the stove here. I'm just using butter. Now this, you do want to use butter. You don't want to kind of saute it. Again, this is going into the potatoes. So remember, I told you the potatoes is pretty rich. Okay, if you're trying to watch that waste, you gotta be careful. But because the potatoes, for it to have flavor, we gotta do a little fattening. But we're not gonna substitute this process with extra virgin olive oil. We are gonna use butter. So now we're gonna do 2 tablespoons of butter into our pot, right? And we're just gonna go ahead and let that go ahead and start melting. And with your butter melting and it's nice and yellow. You don't want it to get too brown, so you can just go ahead and toss your shrimp at this point into your mixture. And like I said, shrimp is the easiest thing to cook. It takes no time to cook. So you're just getting your garlic and everything into your pot. And so far, that's just your butter, and now garlic, and now your shrimp. And we're going to put a little bit of thyme in here. You want to hold your thyme off to the end, because if you put your thyme in just your butter, it's going to start popping. And if you're not used to that, you know, might get a little freaked out, because it pops almost like grease with water. I don't know why thyme does that, but it does. So now, again, shrimp doesn't take long to cook. You're just sauteing this until it turns pink. Now, for it to get a little extra flavor while it's turning pink and while it's staying there, getting it cooking on, we're going to go ahead and put a little bit of cooking white wine into our pot. And this is, again, added flavor. So you're just going to put, that was like not even a half a cup. A little less than a half a cup. And so now we're just going to toss this around, and with our stove on low, we're going to leave this shrimp on the stove. Now remember, like I said, we're going to cover it. We cover our shrimp. We covered our shrimp. Hello! We covered our shrimp. So now that we covered our shrimp, we're going to go ahead and cut the stove off. This is just going to go ahead and take its time and just stay warm through, because again, this is a second process of, we're going to do a double cooking on the potato, so you don't have to basically let the shrimp go too long, because if it's a little under, it will continue to cook in the oven. So now that we have our shrimp, like I said, the stove is off. It's just going to go ahead and stay warm with your lid on. We're just going to go ahead and check our potatoes again. And again, we want to check the potatoes where when we squeeze it, it feels soft. And it's definitely where we want it to be. So I'm going to let the potatoes stay in there probably just for 5 more minutes, because I want all of the potatoes, because you know some of them are bigger than others. I want to make sure that all of the potatoes are nice and soft. And so when we come back, I'm going to start the second process to our twice cooked potatoes. So far, I'm just going to do a quick rundown, which was we sauteed our shrimp in just butter, thyme, a little bit of white wine. We have our bacon potatoes in the oven, bacon doing its own thing. And I do know some people microwave the potato. If you find that's quick and easy for you, or if you don't have a big family and you only need 2 potatoes, you can bake it in the, you can put it in the microwave and cook it really quick and fast. So I'm going to get everything that I need to do, or everything that I need, the ingredients that I'm going to need for the second process, and then we're going to take them out the oven and show you what's our next step. So while I get all of the ingredients I need, stay tuned, because you don't want to miss the next step. Okay guys, so our potato is nice and soft, and this is what you want to see. Like when you push on it and you see how it just literally, it didn't take me no force for it to squeeze, that means we know our potatoes in the inside is nice and cooked. This next step, it's going to require you to basically have a little patience and be very careful, because you're handling a very hot potato. But this next step is crucial to your double baking your baked potato. We have a green onion that we're just going to go ahead and cut that, and we're going to do it finely. Okay, so we're going to finely cut our green onion. And with the green onion, you want it nice and fine, because you're adding this to our mashed potato part of our potato, and you don't really want too much of a green chunk. And if you've seen that, I cut up basically the whole green onion, okay? The whites, the green, everything. That's nice and finely cut. And what we're going to do, and what you're going to need a really clean kitchen towel. And so you need this because, like I said, your potatoes are hot. So we have to have a clean kitchen rag to handle the hot potatoes. I am going to take one of the potatoes, right, with our kitchen towel. We're going to put it on here and we're going to cut it in half. That's, you see that steam? That's how you know it's a nice, fresh, hot potato. We're going to take 1/2 of it on our paper. We have to have a napkin because, like I said, it's very hot. And we're going to take our fork and we're just going to scoop out all of our potatoes out of the peel. Try not to bruise the peel because you need this to basically cook your potatoes. We're going to use this potato skin, so try not to break it up. And this is what we want, and we put that on our dish. And we're just going to basically take out all of our potato mixture from out of our potato skins, and we're going to do this to all of our potatoes that we have here, and then we'll be right back. Guys, so we have completed our removing all of our potatoes out of the potato skin, and this is exactly what you want. You want to take out all of your potato in here, and you want to leave your skins. Do not throw this away, okay? This is what the second process is going to be. Now that we have our potatoes over here, it's bland, nothing has been done to it. We're going to definitely add salt because the potato has absolutely no flavor whatsoever. So we put some salt in there. You're going to do probably 2 tablespoons of salt, depending on how much potatoes you have. We're going to add some black pepper. We're going to put some milk, whole milk. You can use low fat, is whatever you feel. We're going to do, that's like a 1/2 cup of milk. We're going to add some butter. Again, like I told you, this is a rich meal, so rich mean fake fat. We're going to do 3 tablespoons of butter, okay? We're going to add some sour cream. I'm using the light sour cream, okay? And we're going to do about a 1/2 cup of sour cream into your potato mixture, okay? And at this point, all we're going to do, and in the last step of when I made the barbecue chicken video, you guys didn't get to see this process because the baby kept crying. So this is your basic mashed potato. If you want a nice creamy consistency, instead of using your fork or your spoon, use a mixture. A mixture is not only for baking, it's not only for sweet stuff. Use your mixture with your mashed potatoes. It's going to give it a really creamy consistency. So now we're just going to go ahead and cream our mashed potatoes with all of our ingredients that we added in. And you can, the longer you do it, the creamier it's going to be. So it just depends on how creamy. If you like a little chunks left in it, then don't cream it for too long. If you like it kind of chunky, don't cream it for too long. So now we're just going to knock off your excess potatoes. Go ahead and plug it out. We're going to go ahead and use a fork now and mix this to see if we need to add anything else. And at this point, it is nice and creamy, and you can see your black pepper all throughout, and that's exactly what you want. What you want to do at this point is just probably taste it to make sure you have enough salt. And you don't need any more salt. That salt is really good. And again, remember the shrimp mixture that I had? That is why I said you're going to love this. The shrimp mixture I had, which was with the white wine, the butter, the thyme, all of that goodness goes into the pot with the garlic, all of that. This is going to help with the seasoning of your mashed potato mixture, right? So now we're going to go ahead and toss this. And you're tossing it, making sure everything is still nice and creamy. Every part of the mashed potatoes get shrimp in it. And you're just going to go ahead and do a quick toss. And if you can see, it was a little thick before, but when you add that butter and that wine mixture to it is nice and creamy. And any other seasoning you think you need it, trust me, you don't need it after this, right? Now, there's a lot of people who feels like cheese and seafood don't go, but with shrimp, it's okay. If you have Parmesan shrimp, Parmesan cheese, it would be awesome. I'm going to use cheddar, and I have some sharp cheddar cheese here, and I'm just going to place probably a half a cup into the mixture right now, and that's just basically a handful is a half a cup. And we're going to add that, and we're also going to add all of our green onion that we finely chopped, and we're going to do another toss with this. When you're tossing this and you see everything throughout, it looks so good. Now, if you did not want to do the second step process, then you don't have to do that. Therefore, you can just leave it like this and share it up like that. But if you're, let's say if you're cooking this for your man, or if you're cooking it for your girl and you want it to look nice and sexy, leave the potato skins, because again, they can eat the whole skin because you roast it or you season it, so they can eat the whole thing. But it's extra sexy and elegant. It just looks like you literally slay forever. So at this point, we're going to do another taste, and we're just basically tasting it. I'm telling you, at this point, you really don't have to do nothing else to it if you don't want to. But we are going to stuff our potatoes. So now we have our potato skin here. And I'm just going to get a spoon. And we have our mixture here. And we're just going to basically fill it up. And when you're filling up your potato, you want to make sure that you're filling it to the top and you're getting shrimp in every bite, so that every person can have a nice shrimp bite. So now we're just going to go ahead and, like I said, fill up all of our potato skins. And you should have more than enough mixture with the mashing of your potatoes. You're going to have more than enough to fill your potato skins, right? And it doesn't matter if you overfill it, because trust and believe me, everybody's going to love it. So now you're just filling up your potato skins, okay? And we're just adding our mashed potato mixture, and you're putting it back on your tray, right? And again, this is with your shrimp and your cheese and your green onions. If you don't want to use green onions, you can use chives, which is, you know, it still gives you a light onion flavor. So if you don't want to use green onions, maybe you want a little milder taste, you definitely use the chive. And again, it is a little bit, you know, it's the next step that you're taking to make this, because, you know, you can say, well, I just eat the mashed potatoes. You can, but like I said, if you want to make it for somebody, if you want to, you know, make it for somebody special, and or you want to have a dinner party and you want to have little appetizers, and you want to make it convenient for people to, you know, eat your mashed potatoes, this is an awesome way to do it. And again, when you're scooping it in your potato, in your sack, you're wanting to make sure everybody is going to get a shrimp, because that's what they're going to be looking for when they're eating their mashed potato. They're going to be looking like, I thought you said you put shrimp in it. I sure did. And you're going to taste it once you eat it. So again, we're just filling this up. And like I said, if you tear a little bit of your potatoes, it's okay, you know, because again, the flavor is going to sell your mixture. Everybody is going to request these if you do it for a party, because it is so much flavor. And again, we're just filling them up. We're almost finished. And we're just putting it back on our bacon tray that we have. And this is something that if you don't want, you can mash it, and if you want the kids to fill it up, you can do that too, to have them involved in helping you cook. So you can have them help you by filling it up if they a little bit older, so they're not eating off all your mixture and also playing in it. Especially if you want to be giving this to people, you don't want, you know, kids to be playing up in your food. So we have one more potato skin. And like I said, you're going to have more than enough mixture. If you could see, I had made 8 potatoes and I cut them in half, and I have more than enough mixture for all of the skins. And I am definitely, I'm telling you, the crowd's gonna go wild. So now that you have all of your potato skins, right? All of your potato skins on here. I'm just gonna do a quick wash on my hand. Okay, so now that you have all your potato skins, everything is filled up, we're just going to make this, we have a crust, and the crust is just adding your cheese. And your cheese, when you put it in the oven, because again, your mashed potatoes are already cooked and it's already nice and flavorful, and it's already nice and, you know, soft. At this point, you're really only putting it back in the oven so that your cheese could get bubbly and toasty on the top. So you're just putting enough cheese on the top just for it to melt and get really, really good. Okay, and once you have done that, we're just going to go ahead and put this back in the oven. And while we do that, while we put our potatoes back in the oven, we're going to check on our vegetables because it should definitely be cooked now. We're going to place our potato skins back in the oven, and let's take our vegetables out. This is exactly what you want. Do you see how the vegetables is nice and roasted and they're soft? When you put your fork in it, it's nice and soft. This is exactly what you want. And again, this is just a healthier option if you do not want to eat the potatoes. So now that we have our vegetables nice and cooked and they're great, and our double stuffed mashed potatoes are in the oven, we're going to start grilling our steaks. So we're going to get the grill on, clean up a little bit of our mess, and we'll be back ready to grill our steaks. I'm telling you, this dinner, you're going to love it. And trust me, if you have a man, he's gonna love it. Or if you got a girl, he's gonna love it. Or if you know what I'm saying? We don't judge. They're going to love it. So we're gonna take a quick break, clean up everything, and we'll be right back. And we have our grill pan, and it's nice and hot. And what we want to do is just spray it with some olive oil spray, and that's just making sure that our meat do not stick. Okay? You see the smoke? This is what you want. We're gonna take our T-bone that we seasoned, and we're gonna place it on our grill pad. Okay, and this is a 2-burner grill pan. So what we're going to do is have our steak take its time and grill on our pan. Now, if you are a person who likes your food medium well to rare, you're going to let it grill each side maybe 3 minutes per side. We like our meat well done, so I'm gonna leave it for 5 to 6 minutes on one side before I flip it. And so again, it depends on you and how you like your meat. If you like it a little bit more under, then you know you flip it earlier. Again, we only season our steaks with our all-purpose seasoning, and it's definitely on the grill, and it's doing what it needs to do. It's on the grill, and it's doing what it has to do. So this is just going to take, like I said, 6 minutes on each side, and then we will come back to you once we're ready to flip it, so you can see the crust that it got on the bottom, and you can definitely see how it's supposed to look. Again, this is not the one that I seasoned with the bourbon. I'm leaving that one for last, but this is definitely the one that we have with the all-purpose seasoning. So again, we're gonna leave it on the side for 6 minutes, and then we're gonna flip it, and we're gonna show you how it looks once it's ready to flip. So we'll see you soon. Okay guys, so it's been 6 minutes, and we're going to flip our first steak. And again, when you're flipping it, oh my goodness, do you see those grill marks? That is exactly what you want, and all of the seasonings allow it to get a crust. Okay, so this is exactly what you want. We're going to go ahead and flip our other steak, and this is exactly what you want. This is the perfect way for you to grill your steaks. Now, the only thing is, because you're grilling inside, it's going to cause a lot of smoke. So, you know, just put your fans on and so that the circulation can move around. But the look that you're getting on these steaks, the grill marks that you're getting is exactly what you want. And again, we're just going to let it go 6 minutes on the next side, and we're going to put it on a bacon rack, and we're going to place it in the oven so it can stay warm. And we're going to, before I go, we're going to check on our potatoes. And our potatoes, the cheese is still melting, so it's not really ready. You want the cheese to be nice and brown, almost like macaroni and cheese, how it's nice and toasty. That's what you want your cheese to look like. So we're going to let that go, and then we'll be back when it's time to take it off. Okay, guys, so we're back, and it's kind of smoking in here, but I promise you it's not for a bad fire. It's for these good-looking steaks. These steaks are grilling and doing its thing, okay? We're down to one more steak that we have, which is my specialties, and remember that's the brown sugar bread. We have our vegetables here that is nice and ready to go. Everything already roasted. They are super tender. And we have our last steak that we have to grill. We have our 2 steaks that's on the grill that's almost about to come off. And we have 2 that's already ready. We're going to take our double potatoes out. And do you see that crust on your potatoes? That's exactly what you want. If this potato could sing, it probably do a little something like this. You put your on and you put it up. Could you put your hands up? Because when you eat me, this is gonna be so goddamn good. Okay, so we're gonna just go ahead and place our potatoes down. They're very hot, so be careful. And again, we're just gonna go ahead and get these steaks off, add our last steak on. And then our dinner's coming together. Our next step is going to be plating it and tasting it for you guys. Trust me, you do not want to miss another step because like I said, this is going to be so good. You hear the fire's going off, but trust me, nothing's burning. It's just because we're grilling indoors. So stay tuned, we'll be back. Okay guys, so we're at the end. And this is the best part because that means we can eat our food. Now, we took our last steak, which was the special bourbon seasoned steak, off of the grill. And this steak, the trick with steak, if you don't want your juices to run out and you want a juicy steak, you have to let it rest. So it has rest for a good 5 minutes now. So we have our steak that we took off the grill. We have our twice baked mashed potatoes, right? Potato skins. Like I said, you can eat the whole thing. And we have a healthier version of our vegetable medley, which is our butternut squash, zucchini, onions, and garlic. So I just want you guys to take a look and soak all of that up, okay? Now we're going to plate. We have our steak already on our plate, and we're going to get some of our vegetables, and we're going to get a little bit of everything. And like I said, this is definitely, if you want to substitute for the potatoes, this is a healthier alternative. You have A1 on the side. You know, a lot of people need A1 with your steak, but honestly, if your steak is seasoned properly, you really don't need it. So we're going to go ahead and put one of our baked potatoes on our plate. And if you can see, that looks so awesome, okay? And just take that in for a second. I just need you guys to look at that. We have our vegetables, we have our grilled steak, we have our twice baked mashed potato. And because it's Sunday, you definitely know you need you some wine.
Join BJ's Wholesale Club today.
Ooh, baby, that thing hit right. That's that good Moscato mix with all this goodness, I'm telling you. So let's dig in. When you're eating your steak and when you obviously cook it, you want to make sure that when you cut it, it comes off. Did you see that? It's like butter. Again, remember I told you I like mine well done. And if you like yours a little under, just flip it 3 minutes versus the 6 minutes that I flipped it. So now that we have, and we're tasting it with no A1.
13 Baltimore, 13 Seattle. Good football game for sure. Chargers at the time, Brian Tannehill came over from Miami.
I got about a week ago.
Starting for the
This steak is so friggin' tender. When I tell you, look at this. I don't even need the knife. It's literally falling off. I'm telling you, it's falling off. Look at this. You don't even need the knife. Look at that. And this is well done. I believe if you do it medium well, that it's a little bit more, I think it's supposed to be a little bit easier to even come off of the bone. But I like my stuff well done. So now we have steak. We have our butternut squash mix. That's a great combination. That's a great combination. Let's go ahead and try the zucchini with the butternut squash. Listen, if you're trying to get a man or you're trying to keep a man, you better try this. You better try this out. Now let's go to the potato. Again, the potato is so good. You can cut the skin and you can eat the skin. If you don't want to eat the skin, that's fine, but you can. I'm just telling you how good this potato is. Everything is edible.
The other guy step up. Kenny steps up. Everybody rallies around when you're down, and that is the mark of this team. They just want to win again. I don't care if it's close or not.
I don't know.
Anybody out waiting for their main guy to get.
I don't know what y'all want me to tell you. Cheers to the freaking weekend. This thing is so good, and I promise you, your kids, your man, your husband, your side piece, everybody is going to love it. They're going to ask you to cook it again. What did you do to it? Could you teach me? I'm teaching you. So try it. So again, this is our Sunday dinner, and I always want to thank everybody who's taking their time out of your day to watch my crazy videos. And again, like, share, subscribe, hit the notification button, comment, let me know what you want me to do next. And this is me trying it without no A1. And I'm telling you, there's some people who cannot eat steak without A1. And this thing is so good, you don't need the A1. But if you want it, it's there. Because I ain't putting it on mine. Okay? I'm going to finish my dinner. And you guys have a great Sunday. Get off my video. Bye.